What's up, boys? It's the Duel Factory once again with another video, and in today's video we are going to be giving you my St. Peter's regional report for the last regional that they had. I did play Danger Thunder again, and the number of changes that I made to my deck were minuscule, but I still think it's important to document exactly what I played, why I played it, how I did, so on and so forth, especially since I'm going to keep playing this deck for as long as I can, most likely at competitive events, because I think it's still the most powerful deck that I have access to, and I just think it's the most powerful deck in general. That being said, I'll go ahead and get straight into it. I played 4 rounds. We had to leave early because, long story short, it was my buddy's birthday, and he didn't do too well at the event, and we just decided we were going to do something else. So I played 4 rounds. I played 1 Sky Striker, 3 Orcus decks. I lost to the 1 Orcus deck, and then I beat the other 3. To me, the Orcus matchup actually is fairly difficult for this deck, especially if you lose the dice roll because of the types of interruptions they set up for you. Especially with cards, a deck that's very dependent on its monster's effects resolving on the field. But, like I said, this is more of, it's just continually a learning experience, and we adjust it the way that we need it to be. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the list. But like I said, a lot of the changes, there's not a lot of changes, just a few here and there. For the danger part, that's relatively the same. We still play the 3 Snake, or 3 Tsuchinoko, 3 Jackalope, 3 Nessie, and the 1 Bigfoot. Bigfoot, like I said, it being the one of, honestly, it's coming up more and more often. Being able to pop cards, especially discarding off a Nightmare Effect, being able to summon off Jackalope, being a level 8 to make your rank 8 plays. It's a very relevant effect, and we're going to continue playing because I think it's the best generic one of that you can play for the danger monsters. On to the Thunder parts. 3 copies of regular Thunder Dragon. It's the best one with dangers. 2 copies of Dark. You need 2 copies of it in the deck, especially since it has an effect to add a copy of itself. And being able to do that comes up because sometimes you just need to be able to activate a Thunder effect. We're still playing 2 copies of Roar. I still think it's very important to play 2. I'm not. A lot of some people swear by 1, and I was one of those people for a long time. But I think now, especially with the loss of Summon Torque and all those fun cards, I think you should really be playing 2 because it actually helps you grind as well too. And then for my last profile, I switched it to 1 Hawk. This was the correct number. I did not break on this card at all. I had access to it when I needed it, and it's just, I don't think you need more than 1. And then the 1 of Duo, this card's really clutch. But like I said, you just want to search it. And then for the normal summons, we played 3 copies of Battery Man Solar. And then we played 1 copy of Armageddonite. I cut the Dark Grepher. I just thought these were just better generic normal summons. And yeah, there's not much to say about that. I might consider playing a 5th one. I might consider playing Sky Blaster again, but I just don't know if I would make the room in the extra deck to play Link Spider. But that was the normal summons. And then for the Dragon components, we're still playing 3 copies of White Dragon. We're playing 2 copies of Black Dragon. I see some people bumping it up to 3, especially with the increase of lights and darks in the deck, or in this guy, I should say, the increase of light monsters in your deck. But I think the 2 Black Dragon's still correct. 1 copy of Eclipse Wyvern. We're back to playing this because there is a combo that allows you to search the Diabolos and the Levianeer and on your crazy board. You don't loop 2 cards, but your hands can change depending on it. 1 change I did make is because I noticed I was losing to Lancea a lot post games 2 and 3, so I decided to play 2 copies of Defrag Dragon in the main. One of the big things is not being able to summon the baby Chaos Dragons out of your hand or being able to summon Levianeer. But if you play multiple copies of Defrag Dragon, I don't think 3 is correct, I think that's way too much, I think 2 is the correct number. You're still able to put a Dragon monster on the board to be able to resolve your Guard Dragon plays, and I think that's really, really important. And that's why I decided to play 2. And it actually came up where I got Lancea a couple times and I was able to still make Guard Dragon plays because I had access to Defrag Dragon in hand. For the bigger dragons, we're still playing 3 copies of Levianeer. This is by far the best card in your main deck. It just does so much. Especially when you're trying to play through your opponent's boards. Once they use their negations and whatnot, and then you draw a Levianeer after they've played their negations, it's an auto one. They can't deal with it. 1 copy of Diabolos, not much to say there. 1 copy of Omni Dragon Brotar. This card just keeps getting better and better in my mind, especially now that a lot of the times you're not summoning the Amorphage off of it, off of the Celestial Field, whatever you want to call it. Heretic Seal of Heavenly Spheres, I think it is. But you're summoning that, or you're summoning this off that more often, and you're just able to search, like, the following turn, you're able to search a Chaos Dragon Levineer for the following turn. If you're post-side, you can search copies of Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, knowing that they have to play through that. It just keeps getting better and better through every event. And then I'm still playing the one copy of Sloth. I see people cutting this card from the deck, but I think Game 1, it's one of the best cards that you can summon off the Heavenly Spheres. So I'm going to continue to play it, and like I said, a lot of decks, when it's the only play you have, it's just a blowout. We're still playing the Sekka's Light build, which is 3 copies of Sekka's Lights. Arguably, this version is terrible against Mystic Mind deck, but its matchups are broken across the board against everything else, so we're still going to play the best version of the deck that we have access to. So that's it for the Danger Thunder main deck. It is 40. On to the extra deck. There were literally no changes, but I'll go ahead and show it to you anyway, and I'll explain to you my card choices a little bit. So we had 3 copies of Colossus. I played 3 because I was comfortable with 3. After this event, there was not a time that it came up that I needed the 3rd one, so I'm probably going to cut the second Colossus. I don't know what I'm going to replace it with. I might cut it to put room in for a Link Spider. I might cut it for the rank 8 Sky Fortress card that prevents your opponent or each player from summoning monsters from the graveyard, because that card's broken against Salamangreat. It's broken against Sky Striker because they can't bring back Ray, so on and so forth. So I think that's what we're going to do going forward. We're still playing Hot Red. We're still playing 38. I think these are 2 the best generic dragons for your Guard Dragon plays. And then for the generics, we play 1 Beat Cup, 1 Phoenix, and 1 Unicorn. I would not change this lineup. I think it's perfect. I was making the argument that maybe I should play Lane Fernicus over Beat Cup, but I think having the additional Dark in the graveyard that's not a Thunder card that you can banish for Levineer is more important than there being additional Light. For the Guard Dragons, I play Pisty, Agripane, and Elpie. I would not change this lineup, even if you're not playing the prize card. Pisty is really important right now, so we're going to play that. And then for the non-dragon component that goes with the Guard Dragon cards, there's the 1 Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, the 1 Triple Burst Dragon that's necessary for the Brotar combo, and then 2 copies of Saryuja Skoldred. At first, you don't think you're going to need both of them, especially with the changes deck, but I promise you, situation will come up that you need 2. It has happened for me several times, so we're going to continue playing 2. And that is it for the extra deck. Like I said, there was not much change there, but there are some things I would do. And then on to the side deck, it's the exact same as last time. We play 3 copies of Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. This card is insane, post games 2 and 3, and the fact that in this deck that it's searchable off a field interruption to give you another one in hand just makes it even more insane. 3 copies of Denko Sekka. I still think this card's really good, but I don't think it's as fantastic as I thought it was against the Orcus deck. But in simplified situations, it's really good. It's really good against Mystic Mind decks. We're continuing to play it. I might cut one, but we'll see what happens. Still, I think the best hand trap right now post games 2 and 3 is Lancia. Usually when you draw this and they don't have an answer, it's an auto-win. And for the back row decks, along with the Denkos, we play 3 copies of Twin Twister, which this card's blowout against quite a few back row decks, and 3 copies of Red Reboot, because we are not going to lose to them. And that was my regional report and deck profile for the 2019 St. Peter's regional that I attended. Shoutouts to the Collector Store for hosting it to it. Shoutouts to Bingo HD. It was his birthday. And shoutouts to letting me ride with him. He played the Invoke deck that he profiled a couple weeks on his channel. If you want to go see that, go check it out. Don't forget that we always have our podcast every Monday. Link in the description below to the actual links for the podcast, to his channel, to the playlist that we have for it. After this video goes up, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a profile of Pure Thunder, because I had been considering playing that for regionals, and even though I decided to play Danger Thunder instead, I still think it's important to go over the basis of it, so I think I'm going to go ahead and give you a profile of that. I also have Plant FTK on the way too, because I have all the cards for it, and they're really pretty plant cards, and I know a lot of people like Plant, so we're going to go ahead and show that. Earlier in the week, I did post a poll saying if you want to see like a Super Quantal deck or some sort of Dino deck, and majority of you voted for Super Quantal. So I'm working on a Super Quantal list for a fun deck profile, and I'm going to have that posted up next, and then we'll go from there. But like I said, always remember to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to check out the podcast every Monday. It's called the X2 Drop Show, featuring me and Bingo HD. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.